Swami, for those inputs. Quite interesting and insightful. I'm going to turn my attention towards the left a bit, a little dynamite sitting there. Shibu Arakal, welcome to this panel. Shibu, first of all, he's had a hugely successful series called The Mala, which he shot at the Kumbh Mela in Allahabad this year. Congratulations, Shibu. Now, my question to you is, art in India is a subculture. Nobody really cares about it. It's either treated as a harmless distraction or a frivolous activity. Now, even as a gallerist, I face when people come and ask me questions about the kind of art that you practice in particular, and also, conceptual art, or, it could be even abstract art. It's very evident that there is a lack of basic education in the visual field of art. Now, you have carved your own niche in the space that you practice, Shibu, and I know for a fact that your work is a few notches above an average mind, if I may. But what are the challenges? How do you respond to these imbalances, and how do you cope with it, is my question. And also, please do tell us about your challenges, because you started off with the biggest challenge of being the son of a famous artist. So how did that work for you?
Hi everyone, is this working? I don't know where to begin. First of all, I have to say that, I come after a generation of artists like Balaton and my dad, and they've sort of laid the foundation for anything that we could possibly achieve today. We have to remember that art has become a viable career option in one single generation. My dad's generation, I think Balaton's generation, I don't think art was a viable career option. I think it would have been seen as a bit of a romantic or a crazy person to take up art in that generation. But today it's not such a crazy idea. It's still a viable career option. So, having said that, I have to also say what I do. I'm not a photographer. I'm a photo artist. So there is a distinction. And the whole process is different, my output is different, my approach is different, my techniques are different. So that would become another 1 hour talk if I had to get into that, but just know that it's different. So having said that, yes, in many ways I'm on the cutting edge of things so far as technology is concerned. The actual work itself is up to anybody's you can look at it and say whether it's good or not, or whether you respond to it or not. But the point ultimately comes down to the fact that when you're doing the kind of work that I'm doing, medium-wise, there seems to be a lot of, how do you put it, not enough exposure and not enough understanding of what I do. So it could be very simplistically seen as photography, but that would be misleading, and it would be not the right understanding of things. So Deepa and I, we've talked about how if that needs to happen on a large scale, I think it needs to happen from the grassroots, which means that you need to start educating children. What that also means is that today, if you look at any curriculum, and I can say this because I have a 10-year-old, art is not really a part of the curriculum. It's there as, at best, it's there as a extracurricular exercise or an activity. There are no textbooks so far as art is concerned in schools. There's no concerted effort to teach them art or an understanding of art, an appreciation of art from a very sort of substantial viewpoint. At best, what is done today is a very skin level approach, which by doing that, you're actually even sort of insulting the intelligence or the creative ability of the children. Because I believe that they're a lot more receptive than adults are. So if you actually take that approach, the reason I'm saying this is because if I take my daughter as an example, she comes from a very privileged position where she's got to experience my father as well as me. And so she doesn't really have a blinkered approach to anything at all. Creativity comes sort of naturally out of the box thinking. This so-called out of the box thinking, which has become such a buzzword today in any